Welcome to Black and Gold Digital Edition, a behind-the-scenes look at your Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hi, and welcome to week 3 of our digital show. I'm Jay Pushkar alongside Mike Fenner and Kent Urbanski. And guys, it was a tough week for the Black and Gold, going 0-2 this week, losing at home in their home opener to the New England Patriots, and then going on the road for Thursday night, losing to the Cleveland Browns. Both of you guys were at First Energy Stadium. Mike, what did you take away from it, considering the Steelers offensively just still doesn't have that offensive punch?
Yeah, a tough night for the offense. 1 for 9 on third down for the Steelers offensively. Couldn't generate enough of a running game and just couldn't make quite enough plays. And then defensively, it felt like kind of getting pushed around a little bit by that running attack. 171 yards rushing for the Browns. Nick Chubb goes for over 100 on the ground. And just still looking for a lot of answers after a short week, but a tough physical game in the AFC North on the road.
And Kent, that's back-to-back games now that this run defense has allowed over 100 yards rushing. The Patriots did it at Acrisure Stadium, and then the Browns did it on Thursday.
Yeah, Steelers are losing the game at the line of scrimmage in the second half in particular, where I think they're wearing down a little bit and having a hard time stopping the run when it counts the most. So, and that's a tough situation to be in when you're on the road in hostile environments. And I thought they offensively they showed some signs of life. There's some growing pains you could still see going on here that I think that they can work out. But boy, they missed T.J. Watt.
No doubt.
There was no pressure on the quarterback whatsoever.
And you start to sense that maybe the guys are trying to do too much, because as media members, we've been asking, hey, who needs to step up their game? Who needs to elevate? Do you get the sense that guys maybe are trying to do too much and maybe expending themselves?
Yeah, you look at a guy like Alex Highsmith, I think he's taking it personally. You know, he thinks, you know, he should be that guy to step up into that role, and he's really done a good job. But you can't, you know, it's a team effort, you know, and not having T.J. Watt is such a big deal when he is a wrecking ball out there. Basically, it takes two guys to block him, and then you get a guy like Alex Highsmith that can have some room to maneuver on the edge and set that edge. And boy, they miss TJ. It's I'm looking for other guys that need to step up. I really thought the front, you know, with Cam Hayward and guys like that they would be that guys, but there really wasn't a lot of pressure on Jacoby Brissett at all, and he was making some great throws downfield, again, taking advantage of the middle field.
And you mentioned the line of scrimmage. You mean offensively, they're still struggling to try to keep, you know, the running game intact. The numbers were starting to get better for Najee Harris, at least for week 3, but, you know, Mitch Trubisky still not having enough time to throw down the field like they want to. We got to keep in mind, though, this is just the 3rd game that Mitch is with this franchise and with Matt Canada. I mean, is it still a learning curve for this group? Because we're starting to already, and I hate the fact that it's been whispered out there that, you know, let's throw Kenny Pickett out there.
Yeah, and Kent and I were talking on the way back from the game. It seemed like Pittsburgh, they need to take a little lesson from the Browns in terms of trying to involve the tight end more. It seems like they don't get Pat Freiermuth going until late in the game the last couple of weeks. And it's like if they could take advantage of the way Cleveland did with David Njoku, I think that could really open up things in the middle of the field, and it could also kind of soften things up to try to be able to create more running lanes on offense. So I think that's something that they really need to focus on going into the Jets matchup is trying to work the middle of the field more in the passing game and get a guy like Freiermuth and these tight ends involved more.
Yeah, I mean,
Zach Gentry is
huge. He's a huge target out there. He's going to be mismatched with a lot of, you know, smaller linebackers and defensive backs. You know, I think it's just a matter of getting the right play calls in and taking advantage of what the defense is giving you. And, I mean, they're obviously stacking the box to stop the run with Najee, and you know, it's a copycat league from what even some of the players have even said. So do some copycatting, you know, and involve those tight ends over the middle more.
And even though the Steelers are 1-2, when you look at it as the glass being half full, they're now 1-1 in the division. So it's not the end of the world. It's only 3 games in. But how does the franchise and how do the players and the coaches handle that few extra days off that they're going to have now in preparation for the Jets?
Get creative even more with the offensive play calling, you know, especially coming back home against the Jets, and they can't fall behind another game. It's kind of important that they win and kind of stay in pace early. You got a little tougher stretch of the road coming in October with some games that there's no guaranteed wins there, so you got to stack them when you can.
Yeah, when you have teams like Buffalo, Tampa, and Miami on the horizon, that they've got to get this thing going. And I mean, from an organizational standpoint, how do the Steelers handle these next few days? Just having the extra time off and game planning and getting themselves ready.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of self-evaluation and just finding a way to have some uncomfortable conversations. I think Mitch Trubisky alluded to that in the postgame. Not only just looking at the tape, but just being honest with himself, being honest with his teammates, everybody coming together and just putting egos aside because they've got to figure this out any way possible, like you said, going into that tough stretch. I'd be remiss if we didn't mention the George Pickens catch. That's all time.
It went viral.
That
I
is
mean,
one of the best catches we've seen. Oh my! That was
Within
insane.
minutes, everyone was raving about it. And again, that's just what we've been hearing about through training camp, the regular season.
Yeah,
Even
we've seen
Trubisky has said it in his postgame. He's like, I got to get this guy the ball. He is so talented, and yet you're seeing splashes here and there. And that catch on Thursday night
Well, they're trying to be
was pretty
balanced.
remarkable.
They're trying to be balanced,
Yeah.
you know. So you have to pick and choose your battles. Or, you know, you're either going to be balanced or you're going to, you know. Cleveland was going basically with Chubb and with Njoku and
Amari Cooper.
And Amari Cooper had a huge game. So
7 for 101.
Again, copycat league.
Well, we'll see what the Steelers do over the next few days, and of course, we'll get you ready for week number 4 as the Steelers will be back home at Acrisure Stadium to take on those New York Jets. Kickoff will be at 1 p.m. So, for Mike Fenner and Ken Urbanski, I'm Jay Pushkar. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for watching. Join us again next week for Black and Gold Digital Edition.